ToonBarn presents direct from Voltron headquarters, an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at World Events Productions.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of Voltron, defender of the universe. A mighty robot, loved by good, feared by evil. Voltron, defender of the universe. Voltron, defender of the universe.
Today's feature, part one of a three-part interview with Jeremy Corray, supervising producer of Voltron Force and creative director at World Events Productions.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Corray, creative director here at World Events Productions, Web.
Jeremy, it is really cool to be at your corporate headquarters at World Events Productions in St. Louis, Missouri.
It's great to have you in person, in office here, and thank you for all the support over the season 1 of Voltron Force. It's been awesome. I've read every article, and you even did a dedicated site to it. ToonBarn.com is a friend of Voltron. We loved your reviews, and we loved what you did with Harry, and I'm glad you're here at Voltron headquarters. You're kind of an official member of the Voltron Force, and your helmet's in the mail, even though it's purple. It's the only color we had left. I'm sorry.
Hey, congrats on completing Season 1 of Voltron Force. How's it feel to bring Voltron to a new generation of fans?
I think everybody here is really proud of the first season of Voltron Force, and it was, like Voltron, a real team effort between story editor Todd Garfield, producers like Loris Lunsford and Bob Koplar, Jason Netter, and then down to the production team, which you've got John Delaney and Steve Gordon, Heather Puddock. They all really came together, and everybody up there at AOK Productions. I think we accomplished the goals that we set out to do, which was introduce a new generation to the mythology of Voltron Force, while at the same time evolving the technology and some of the powers of Voltron. So we really set out to make a show that captured and respected the original classic series from 1984, and based on fan response, I'd say we succeeded on a lot of levels. So for me, it's just been a wild ride and a dream come true as a Voltron fan myself to even just get to play in that sandbox for a little bit. So we're exhausted and proud and looking forward to the future.
What is your role on Voltron Force?
Well, my specific involvement on Voltron Force, my official title was supervising producer. I like to think of myself as a head geek, right? I defend Voltron's universe, and I was involved in all aspects of the production, from the writing to the actual animation on the post-production side. You know, it is a big team effort, but it was a thrill for myself to be able to, you know, get in there, help craft some of the stories. Was always fun working, you know, hand in hand with Todd Garfield, with Loris Lunsford and Bob Koplar on the development of the, you know, the overall series Bible. Then from animation, getting, you know, dailies in, getting a rough animation in. Even before that was character design, you know, just adding little touches, little things that I could to help kind of, you know, throw out to old school fans where we could. And then on the post-production side was fantastic. Overall, just responsibilities of making sure everything kind of sounded on brand, on message, where we wanted it to be. So it was just kind of defending Voltron's universe since he defended ours back in the day. So yeah, that's what I would say my role would be, as a brand defender.
Jeremy, you wrote the episode Ghost in the Lion, The Return of Sven. How cool was that?
Yeah, it was such a thrill to be able to write the episode Ghost in the Lion with Sven's return. In fact, I wouldn't let anybody else write it. I was just like blocking elbows, like, no, this one's mine. And I felt, as a Voltron fan of, you know, the classic series, I had the responsibility of on my shoulders of everyone, and having that be in such an anticipated episode with our core group of fans. So it was such a great memory. In fact, I returned to the house that I grew up watching Voltron in, and I just couldn't believe it. I had to pinch myself that I was sitting there writing this episode of Sven returning, where, you know, it made such an impression on myself and everybody of Generation Voltron when, you know, he was suddenly taken down by that Robeast and Hagar's cat, and here we had the chance to, you know, kind of bring him back, I guess, for a second time, if you count, you know, Final Victory and all the things like that. But as I've said, it really just flowed out. I knew I wanted to keep Sven this very tragic figure. I knew I wanted to set it on this very different planet. You know, what has he been doing? You know, there's a little bit of canon molding there where we changed a little bit of the aspects. We couldn't quite get into, you know, Princess Ramel and where does this baby came from. But I think that had a lot of influence too. I was a new father at the time, and I knew I wanted to have Sven kind of conflicted, and what would happen if he came back for Blue Lion. You know, how would he feel about, you know, Allura and things like that, even though I know they got along in later episodes of the original series. But I knew I wanted Sven to be a very tragic figure and kind of get into some conflict. I wanted to see some lion on lion action and set that in kind of this Arctic tundra, and, you know, see Red Lion spewing fire versus the Blue Lion, you know, firing ice back and forth. So it was such a thrilling responsibility is the only way to describe it. And then being able to see what director John Delaney was able to do with it, and it was a process. It was crazy. A lot of stuff that, you know, you write doesn't quite make it in towards the end, but at the end of the day, a lot of stuff surprises you too, and you say, you know, wow, that's better than I even imagined it. And I'm really happy with the reception that the fans, and I love how they've gotten all into it and named Sven's baby Eric, which is a great name. So that was what was thrilling about it. I'm still reading reviews, and it seems to inspire a lot of fan fiction. So that's the greatest compliment we could give. The first draft was really kind of a darker, you know, picture kind of the darkest episode of the original series, which I felt like, oh, we could use a little bit of that when you have episodes like Gary or Rogue Trip, which are a little bit of the lighter episodes. So I think Todd, who, you know, ran me through the process just like any other writer. It wasn't, you know, just because I was a producer on the show. He really, you know, and it was for the own good, and I asked him to do that, and so he was great, and Loris Lunsford as well, kind of pulling out, you know, hey, making some levity in there, because ultimately the show is for a new generation, and so I think all in all they made it a better episode.
Stay tuned to ToonBarn as Voltron Week continues with part 2 of the Jeremy Corray interview, where Jeremy talks about Voltron Force Season 2, toys, comics, and the Voltron movie everyone is waiting for. Check it out tomorrow on ToonBarn.